Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, I don't know about you, but I only got like 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep last night. I just kept replaying certain moments of the game over and over and over again. What a time. What a time to be a Jet fan. But now that the dust has settled a little bit, I wanted to take a look back at yesterday's game and talk about a couple players that I felt like were really impressive. Guys that I feel like need to be talked about here. So, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the top 5 bright spots from last night's game. So the first player on the list is, you guessed it, it's Zach Wilson. Okay, 6 of 9, 61 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Obviously, those numbers don't blow anybody away, but when I'm talking about Zach Wilson, I'm referencing the eye test, the arm strength, the accuracy. The quick release, the poise was on full display last night. And yeah, you can make an argument, hey, it's preseason, James Bradbury wasn't out there, Adoree Jackson wasn't out there, Leonard Williams wasn't out there, numerous players, numerous starters, numerous players for the Giants first team defense were not out there. And plus, it's not like Patrick Graham was doing his best to try to confuse Zach Wilson, nothing like that, just a super vanilla defensive game plan. And that's accurate. That is 1000% accurate. But here's the deal. Everything that Zach Wilson did last night was applicable to the regular season. Throwing guys open, hitting players in stride, knowing where to go with the football. How many forced bad decisions did we see from Wilson last night? I felt like for the most part, Zach Wilson knew exactly where to go. He had command of the offense. He didn't look panicked. He didn't look like a deer in headlights. He didn't look rattled in the least. Okay, and we also saw the pocket presence on that 3rd and 14 play, probably one of, if not my favorite plays of the entire night, where Zach Wilson snapped the ball, hung in the pocket, stared down the barrel of the gun, and made a beautiful pass to, I believe, Tyler Kroft for a pickup of 13. Unfortunately, we went for it on 4th down and got stuffed, so we couldn't see that continued drive, but that throw speaks volumes about what Zach Wilson can do in the regular season. One of his biggest knocks back at BYU was the fact that he always threw from a clean pocket, and there was also so much separation between Wilson and the offensive line. I mean, he had all day to throw. He was like never touched back there, but to see Wilson in an NFL game, right, NFL action, granted it's preseason, and again, it's not the Giants first team defense or anything like that, but to see him out there with the guys hang in the pocket and fire that absolute missile at Tyler Kroft, I feel like it speaks volumes about where Wilson is from a developmental standpoint, and also it's really just the tip of the iceberg on what Wilson can do moving forward. So for me, Zach Wilson is definitely on this list. Next up, player number 2, edge rusher, former undrafted free agent Bryce Huff. We take a look at what Bryce Huff did last night. I was totally impressed. I was totally impressed. And I gotta be honest, I feel so much better about where we stand at the edge position opposite of Carl Lawson today than I did yesterday, than I did in weeks prior, okay? Not only did he snag 2 sacks, but he also had time playing with the ones. He also was flying off the line of scrimmage like bolt of lightning style, okay? It was just so much fun to watch Bryce Huff play football last night. And with this position being completely up in the air, you know, it could be Rashid from Oregon State, it could be Vinny Curry when he comes back from injury, possibly a Jabari Zuniga, 4th round pick in last year's draft out of UF. We also have Ronald Blair. With this position being wide open, it was awesome to see Bryce Huff roll out with the ones, first team defense, and snag a sack on his first, on the first drive. Just coming around the bend, getting in the backfield, and then smacking Glennon. That was awesome. I'm pumped for Bryce Huff. I really hope this continues, you know, throughout joint practices with the Packers, and of course, you know, through the remainder of preseason. But man, Bryce Huff, really impressive. Next up, player number 3, running back Ty Johnson. Okay, we all know Ty Johnson is a great system fit for this LaFleur offense, okay? And we've been talking about that since Saleh and these guys were brought in. But we take a look at what Johnson did last night. He was explosive, he was decisive. It just seemed like he knew where to go with the football. He knew exactly where to be. He hit these running lanes with not only just a lot of acceleration, but a lot of confidence. It just, and look, Ty Johnson, I'm not saying, oh, he's the next Zeke Elliott, oh, he's not the next, you know, Christian McCaffrey or anything like that. But when you watch Ty Johnson in this LaFleur offense, it just looks like it fits. They go hand in hand. I feel like Ty Johnson will have a significant role this upcoming season, and we see how San Francisco has really handled the running game in you know, recent history with this style of offense. They cycle guys in, they cycle guys out, and we have a stacked running back room. Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Piron, Josh Adams. There's a lot of guys here, okay? But I feel like Ty Johnson, by the way, rolling with the ones last night. I think he had 9 carries, 33 yards. Ty Johnson was really impressive. Another underrated aspect of Johnson's game is the fact that he can catch passes out of the backfield. Whether it's a check down or a designed screen, Johnson can be effective in the pass game. Although it wasn't on display last night, it just adds that extra layer to what Johnson brings to the table. But all in all, I felt like Johnson really stood out last night. Next up, player number 4, the heartbeat of this Jets defense. Linebacker CJ Mosley. Okay, now CJ Mosley obviously didn't get tons and tons of playing time. It's not like he played a half or 3/4 or anything like that. He was only in there for a couple drives, but we saw the impact that Mosley had on the game, whether it's coming up and stopping the run or dropping back in coverage and deflecting a Mike Glennon pass over the middle of the field when Glennon tried to fit it in there over the seam. CJ Mosley was right there. That could have easily been a gain of 10, 15, 20 yards, and that's not to say, who knows, maybe the wide receiver would have caught it and maintained his stride. It could have been a touchdown. Okay, so plays like that are why CJ Mosley is paid the big bucks. We see how important the linebacker position was back in San Francisco with guys like Fred Warner, guys that could fly around the football field. They're athletic, they can drop back in coverage, they could come up and stop the run. They're just the leaders of the defense. CJ Mosley has all of the talent in the world. He's been a dominant player in Baltimore, back in college, Bama, first round pick. We all know CJ Mosley's story, but for him to have that injury, or number one, look fantastic against Buffalo, and then have the injury, come back, get hurt again, and then obviously opt out because of the whole virus thing. But to see him play at that level last night was really, really encouraging. I think CJ himself, the coaching staff, the fans, everybody's really expecting a big year from Mosley, and he has all of the talent in the world to get that done. And last but not least, player number 5, wide receiver Denzel Mims. 3 catches, 51 yards. When Denzel Mims' number was called, he stepped up. He was targeted 4 times, had 3 snags. And by the way, one of those I think went for 20 plus. Denzel Mims, man, there's been a lot of turmoil there. Stacked wide receiving room. Elijah Moore coming onto the scene. Corey Davis being added. The same kind of skill set. Is he a system fit? I just feel like the world is against Denzel Mims right now. And to see him go out there and perform with, albeit the second and third teamers, he still went out there and did his thing. He didn't disappoint anybody. I mean, I felt like Denzel Mims really impressed a lot of people. I mean, that play where he was carrying multiple Giants on his back and continuing to move forward, that reminded me of classic Braylon Edwards back on the goal line 10 years ago in Gillette Stadium. You know what play I'm talking about in the postseason. I mean, that was great. That's what you want to see from Denzel Mims. Can you step up? Yeah, you're rolling with the second teamers, you're rolling with the third team, but are you making an impact? And the answer is yes. So I was pumped about Denzel Mims. I'm still a huge Mims guy. I really, really want him to do well. And I think he will. I think he will. He's a second-year wide receiver. He made a huge mark last year when he had the opportunity to. I mean, he missed the entire training camp. There was no preseason. First chunk of the year was not there. But once he got in the game and started developing that chemistry with Flacco, everything was pretty much smooth sailing. They made the quarterback change. Chemistry issues, but I still like Mims. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Who were your bright spots? And as always, go Jets.